Hey, what's up? I got some more lore content for you guys. Riot has been so generous as to update us with 7 beginner decks for new players to hop into the game and start playing different strategies. Whether you're a brand new player, a returning player, or someone who's a little tight on resources, then this video is for you. I'm going to break down how to unlock the new beginner decks and what some modified versions will look like so that you have a refined list to work towards. As per usual, each deck code will be in the description below along with the Mobalytics links. Before I get into the video, if you're new, please consider hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date with my content. I also stream on Twitch often, so check me out over there if you're looking for live gameplay, and also consider visiting my Patreon if I've helped you at all during your lore journey. With that, I hope you enjoy this video. Here's a quick tutorial on how to import codes for new players. For PC users, click on the description box of this video and scroll down to the deck code. Highlight the code and press Ctrl+C or right-click copy, either one works. Then open your lore client and in the collection menu, hit import deck and it will pull it up for you. For mobile users, click on the Mobalytics link provided under the codes and scroll until you see the download icon. Click on it and then hit the copy deck code button. Open your lore app, go to the collection menu and tap on import code to insert it into your collection. So you actually have to unlock these decks yourselves for now. This will change after June 29th, so if you're watching this video afterwards, this doesn't apply to you and you'll have the decks automatically. But for now, what you have to do is go to the store menu and check the featured section. A list of the decks will appear for the cost of 0 coins. Make sure to grab them and they'll automatically be put into your collection. So, getting right into it, I try to keep these lists as close to the default versions as possible. Of course, I added the third copies of champions and took out some of the worst cards and improved the decks a bit, but overall, they should be very easy to craft. And the first deck I have for you is actually one I'm really excited about, and that is Darkness. The reason I'm excited is because it's a very good, beginner-friendly introduction to value-based control decks in Legends of Runeterra. If you want to play slow, methodical, and control playstyles, then Darkness is the gateway, and I'm really happy that Riot included it in the beginner set. The main strategy of the deck is to play around a card called Darkness. Darkness is a 3-mana slow speed spell that deals 2 to an enemy, not the Nexus, just an enemy unit or champion. Now we can interact with Darkness in various ways. There are cards in the deck that generate it, so giving you a Darkness in hand. There are ways to discount Darkness, making it cheaper to play, and there's also ways to make Darkness stronger, dealing more damage each time it's cast. This makes Darkness a reoccurring threat and a really fun card to play around, because a lot of your cards are basically working towards the same goal of getting Darkness nice and big, and using it as really big removal, and also an alternate win con, hitting the opponent's face with it later through leveled up Vhagar. So getting into the list specifically, we have Burgeoning Sentinel, 1 mana 1/2 Fearsome. The first time you kill a unit with a spell, grant me 2/1. Fearsome's a really strong keyword. It makes it pretty hard for this unit to get blocked, unless the opponent has units that have 3 or more power. That way your Burgeoning Sentinel is trading up into them, and it's really easy to actually get the +2/+1 bonus. All you have to do is kill an enemy unit with a spell. That could be Darkness or any of your other control tools. Speaking of which, we have Pytos. For 1 mana at fast speed, it can deal 1 to a unit, so that's really nice at just killing off a pesky 1 HP unit, and then it also turns into Perilous Pastry, letting you use it, again later, dealing another 1, and this one can actually hit Nexus, so that's kind of fun. Then we have 2 Quietus, 1 mana slow speed spell, kill a unit with total power and health of 4 or less, or destroy a unit's equipment, so you can kill like a 2/2, or a 3/1, or anything that stats add up to 4 or less, or you can destroy a unit's equipment. Equipment is a really strong mechanic in Legends of Runeterra. They're basically weapons that attach to units. Being able to Quietus and just break the weapon is really high value for 1 mana. Next we have Dark Bulb Acolyte, 2 mana 2/2 Augment. Augment says when you play a created card, grant me 1/0. This includes Darkness. This also includes Perilous Pastry that we get from the Pytos, so there's a little bit of synergy there, and it just gets a ramping attack boost. When I'm summoned, create a Darkness in hand if you don't have one, so this is one of our Darkness generators, allowing us to play Darkness in the early game. Moving right along, we have Glimpse Beyond, 2 mana fast speed spell, kill an ally to draw 2. This is useful if you're using Glimpse Beyond as a reaction, so basically if you have a 2 HP unit and your opponent is like using Mystic Shot or something to kill it, you can react with Glimpse Beyond and that will resolve first because spell chains resolve backwards, allowing you to kill your unit that was already going to die anyways and turn it into some draw. That's really good for keeping your resources going. Next we have Soul Harvest, 2 mana slow speed spell, kill a follower with 3 or less power, or spend 1 more mana to kill a champion with 3 or less power. There's a lot of good targets for Soul Harvest to hit, both followers and champions, so this is just overall a really good card. It's a good control tool in general, and it also has synergy with our Sentinel cards. Next we have Twisted Catalyzer, one of the most important cards in the deck. If you see this in your opening hand, you want to keep him and play him right away. 2 mana 3/2 strike, so whenever he does damage with his attack, grant your Darkness Everywhere 1 extra damage. So just 1 strike will make your Darkness deal 3 damage for the rest of the game. If he gets multiple strikes in, this can keep scaling, by the way, so Darkness can go up to 4, 5, 6 damage and be really annoying for the opponent to deal with. So Catalyzer is a must-play unit, and it's actually a must-remove unit for the opponent as well. They have to respect Catalyzer because if he strikes even more than once, he gets completely out of control. Next we have Buru Sentinel, just like the 1 mana Sentinel card, fearsome, and the first time you kill a unit with a spell, grant me 2/1. Really good stats, really good blocker, love that. Next we have Solari Sentinel, 3 mana 3/2, when I'm summoned create a darkness in hand if you don't have one, so another darkness generator. Stilted Robemaker, this is a very important card for the deck as well, just like Catalyzer. 4 mana 3/4, when I'm summoned, reduce the cost of your Darkness Everywhere by 1. So just 1 Stilted Robemaker will make your Darkness cost 2, and any future Darknesses you also generate will be 2 as well. So this is really cool, especially if you stack Robemakers and you have multiple, then you can get Darkness down to 1 or even 0 mana. There's also an intermediate combo revolving Soul Cleave, which is an optional inclusion in the deck as well. I highly recommend trying it. It says kill an ally to summon 2 ephemeral copies of it. I've had people use this against me and it's really strong. So basically Stilted Robemaker comes down and then you Soul Cleave it, making your Darkness cost 0 immediately. It's just a quick 2-card combo. All you have to do is sacrifice your 3/4 body and 7 mana total to have infinite free Darknesses for the rest of the game. So that's really cool. Since this is not a very beginner-friendly combo and it's actually kind of tricky to know when to activate Soul Cleave, when to use the mana investment on it, I don't have Soul Cleave in this list, but it is definitely something to try later. Next we have our first champion, Vhagar. When I'm summoned, create a darkness in hand if you don't have one, so he's a darkness generator. Also, on round start, grant your Darkness Everywhere 1 extra damage. So he has the Catalyzer effect of ramping the damage of Darkness, however, he has to live for an entire round to pull it off. It's round start. So if he's immediately killed by something like Soul Harvest or Vengeance or pretty much any removal that can deal with him, then you don't get the value. But if he gets to live for a couple turns, then he obviously helps a lot, making the Darkness even stronger. If you deal 12 damage with Darkness over the course of the game, he levels up. And what this does, basically a lot of text just to say, on top of everything else, when you play Darkness, it can target anything. So you can use this to target the enemy face. This means if your Darkness is at like 6 damage or something, you can just cast it to the opponent's face, and then round start, he will create another Darkness in hand, because that's what he does in level 2 as well, and then you can send a 7 powered Darkness to the enemy face, making it to where you have like a 2 or 3 turn lethal, just from Vhagar himself. Champion spells are a mechanic in the game where if you have a champion on board, any additional copies will become a spell version instead in your hand. His champion spell is a 5 mana fast speed, stun an enemy, and then also stun all enemies with 2 or less power. Really good stall tool. Next we have our other champion, Senna. When I'm summoned or attack, create a darkness in hand if you don't have one. Your damage and kill spells accelerate too fast. So now you can cast darkness at fast speed, so during combat, and that's really cool because you can start an attack with Senna, cast darkness, and then immediately get another darkness on that attack call, effectively double dipping and getting double darkness from just Senna herself. Level up, I've seen you kill 3 units with spells or an allied Lucian die. We don't play Lucian in the deck, so it's just the first one. If you kill 3 units with any of your spells, it can be Darkness, it can be Quietus, Soul Harvest, literally anything, she levels, and that's really nice. She also reduces the cost of your Darkness by 1, and any of your other fast speed kill spells as well. So she's pretty insane. Moving right along, we have Ishtali Sentinel, 6 mana 4/5, lifesteal, so on strike, heal, which is really annoying for aggro decks. Ishtali Sentinel coming down basically is instantly a loss, so yeah, this is really good into aggro and other mid-range strategies. When I'm summoned, create a darkness in hand if you don't have one. Also, when you play your next darkness this round, copy it targeting the enemy nexus. So this helps with Vhagar as well, because if you have Vhagar level and also Ishtali Sentinel, you can basically double cast darkness on the opponent's face, and that's absolutely insane. So yeah, you can use this as like removal and also damage. It's very flexible. 2 Vengeance, really strong card. 6 mana, just kill a unit at fast speed. Really good when your opponent is putting a lot of resources into one unit and you can just kill it outright. Very good. Rekindler, 7 mana 4/4, when I'm summoned, revive the strongest dead ally champion. So like let's say your Vhagar or Senna die early, well you can use Rekindler to summon them back, also giving yourself a 4/4 body to attack or block with. And since it's an on summon, Vhagar will get a darkness for you, Senna will also do that, so that's really cool. You can just get the free darkness from him. And to round it out, we have 1 Destinata. The pre-built deck gives it to you, so I'm just going to keep it in here. It's an epic. It's pretty nice to run at 1 of. 8 mana 7/6. When I'm summoned, create a darkness in hand if you don't have one. Also, your darkness costs 0, and I deal damage to all enemy targets, not face, unless you have Vhagar and you're targeting face, but it will do AoE damage to all the opponent's units. So instead of dealing 6 to something, you'll do 6 to everything. So it's a really big board clear, and that's really good too, just to close out some games, make the opponent surrender since they don't have a board left. And that's it for the deck rundown. I wanted to be as thorough as possible and explain the context of each card, that way you know what's going on, what the synergies are, and what the deck is trying to do. Now here's a live commentary game, so you can see how the deck plays out. I'll be giving even more context to why I'm playing certain cards, and hopefully it gives you a good feel on how to play the deck. So for the example game, we're going to be fighting Teemo Tristana Yordles, a very annoying swarm deck, so hopefully we can use our removal to deal with them. We can keep Pytos for early 1 HP units. We can honestly keep Vhagar as well because he's a darkness generator. Vengeance is a little iffy. We might want it for Tristana, but it's also worth pitching to try to find some other early stuff. And we have Catalyzer on 2, which is obviously very good as well. So let's get rid of the Vengeance, maybe try to find the card that makes our darkness cheaper, would be really good. Yep, and since we are slow and passive, we can just pass for a turn. Immediately Pytos that on summon, because they have no additional mana to protect him with any of their spells from Ionia. So we can just go ahead and get rid of that Teemo immediately, and then go into turn 2 playing Catalyzer. And we have Soul Harvest. Rumble Slug. Yeah, I'm down to play the Catalyzer here, right? Or we can Soul Harvest, Buru, next turn. So yeah, there are 2 options. We can Soul Harvest and just kill the Grumble Slug and then play Catalyzer next turn. Or we can do Catalyzer now, swing, and then play Buru Sentinel next turn. Let's do that.
Give me your malice, creatures of doom.
We can go ahead and just play the Catalyzer. They probably won't even attack. They are attacking. Well, then we'll take the trade. That will also make our darkness stronger. Turn 3, we can just set up the Buru, or we can pass. What's really interesting is when you're playing a control deck, you can just kind of pass as long as you're not burning mana, because this will be banked for us. So we can pass and just see what the opponent is trying to do. Vandal City Mayor. I think that is definitely worth soul harvesting. So this is a good example of just playing passive and playing reactive. Wait for the opponent to do something, and then we react accordingly. Now if our Vhagar is going to be safe, I actually want to play him on turn 4. Teemo. Yeah, let's go ahead and play Vhagar. We always want to play Vhagar if he's pretty much guaranteed a round of survival. That way we get to the round start effect of getting extra damage. We can Quietus or we can Pytos. Now that they have more spells, they actually have like options, right? They have 3 mana, so they could probably outplay me. Let's go ahead and hit pass and wait for combat. Then we can try Pytos. I'm going to save Quietus because they often play weapons in this deck. So we might use this to destroy a weapon later. And with that, that's 2 champions already dealt with this game. Our Vhagar survived, so he got 1 extra damage on our darkness. On top of Catalyzer's damage, puts us to 4 damage darkness. That's really good. Let's go ahead and play Robemaker. Now our darkness is cheaper. I probably want to do next action attack, just swing with the Robemaker and try to push some damage and keep control of the board. We want to make sure that we are winning on board and in hand as much as possible because we win through outvaluing the opponent, you know, having more resources than them. Penner. That is fine.
Spotlight on me.
Our 3 mana 3/4 basically beats into anything that they do, so that's good. Just go ahead and push 3 damage to face or threaten a unit. Boom, 3 damage. Sounds good. Third Teemo. Sheesh, they have a lot of Teemos in their deck. Alright. Not a super big deal. We have 5 damage darkness, so we are in a great spot. We can even kill their Bandle Gunners, which is one of their stronger cards.
Me before you?
This world is positively uppity downity, brother.
Yeah, let's go do Perilous Pastry on the 3/1, because I actually care more about the 3 attack unit than Teemo right now. Since it's a slow speed, we can't actually do double pastry, because that's just how slow speeds work. So we can only do 1 at a time. Go ahead and just pastry the 3/1. Then we can do Vagar to the 3/1. Killing it, Vagar lives. And we can also do the 3/4 to this.
Honestly.
Or this.
my
I
dear.
take 11. Or I go to 11, I go to 12. I'd rather go to 12. Of course, we want to live with as much HP as possible. So this is fine. Big defensive block. Then we can play Booer Sentinel as a unit. That way, next time we kill something, Booer Sentinel will gain some stats. Let's go ahead. Well, I mean, we could just pass. They're burning 2 as well. We don't really have to kill anything right now.
We'll make them pay.
We could do an attack here, like that. Or we could do removal first. Let's Quietus. Get one of those. We can play the turn a bit slow. Nice. Bigger Booer Sentinel. Love that. What is that? Beguiling Cobra. New card, by the way. 7 mana 4/7. Each round, the first time you summon another follower, summon an exact copy of it. So that's pretty crazy. You can double up on the value. If your board is full, grant its stats and keywords to me. Well, we are going to kill that right now. We are not letting that do nothing.
The darkness consumes you.
Go ahead and finish it off with a pastry. There we go. Use our removal nice and efficiently. Then we can attack.
On me.
I'm also kind of down to sacrifice my Vagar at some point, to be honest, and then just rekindle him. Probably not during combat, though. That'd be too much of an int. We can go ahead and push some damage. The reason I'm not using second Quietus is because these aren't really high value to kill right now. I used my first one so I could get a buff. Second one, I'm still waiting for weapons, because I'm kind of scared of their weapon synergy.
Witness true power.
Another Cobra. And I wish I was on Vengeance or something like that, but I'm not. So what I probably want to do is Glimpse Beyond Vagar. Yep. Turn him into some cards, and then play Rekindler. And this is big brain, because Rekindler will resummon the Vagar, and that will give me another Darkness. Oh, a Shroom. Scary. And then I'll just cast my Enhanced Darkness on the Cobra. Condense. That is cute. Holy, look at that combo. Bunch of little cobras. Not that scary though, actually.
We burn, then kindle anew.
It is I!
Yeah, we get to be nice and annoying. That also levels our Vagar. So we can go ahead and block. Man, that Cobra's actually swinging into me now, isn't it? 3-2-1-3 is fine.
Dear.
We can give you the Rekindler. We don't really need him. I don't want to take too much damage. So now we Darkness, finish it off. This will level Vagar, and then we can Darkness the enemy face.
I'm coming.
Let's go. We got a Vagar level on the example game. Feels good.
The hour approaches.
Yeah, we just have to play Catalyzer.
Only I can command darkness.
We could also open attack with our Fearsome. That's also a good play. I want to kill with exact damage darkness because that sounds fun.
Anyone seen any sheep around here?
But yeah, I could have attacked for 5 on open and then put them to 4. Same thing. But yeah, let's do this, that. The only thing we're not going to swing with is Vagar because we don't want him to die. We really need the darkness to target face.
This way, come along.
And then we have exact lethal because Catalyzer Strike puts darkness up to 9. So yeah, we just kind of Giga Brain them. Ta-da! They could be on Noble Deny to stop it, but if not, then that is just lethal for us. And this is another deck that I'm really excited to show, and that is Dragons. I'm really excited because dragons are a super fun play fantasy, right? Big dragons, swarm the board, really big stats, and Aurelion Sol is a really sick late game win condition. So getting right into the list, we're going to be playing around dragon tags and dragon synergy. So pretty much anything that has dragon, going to be really good for us. We have Dragon Guard Lieutenant, 2-mana 3/2. When I'm summoned, if you behold the dragon, so if it's on board or in hand, grant me Challenger, allowing him to grab things. And that's super good at dealing with some really annoying units that the opponent develops early, like Teemo and stuff like that. You know, things that you can't normally block. Well, Dragon Guard Lieutenant can just try to force kill. That way the opponent can't sit on bench strategies too easily. Next we have Form Up, 2-mana burst speed Demacia spell, really strong in general, give an ally 2/2, so really good. We want to include this in most Demacia strategies, just because it's a flexible, strong tool for combat, right? Getting the +2 attack, +2 HP, super high value. Next we have Triple Guiding Touch, heal an ally or your Nexus 2, draw 1, so this is good for our damage allies, our dragons that get hurt through combat, we can heal them up, or we can heal our face in case we're getting aggroed by very fast opponent strategies. Also, it's a draw 1, so it recycles itself, really good value there. Herald of the Dragons. So this is one of the most important cards in the deck, and it is the main way that dragons actually win nowadays. It's a 2-mana 1/2, dragon allies cost 1 less. So if you play Herald of Dragons on 2, that allows you to play Shyvana on turn 3, cheating her out a whole 1 turn early. Now that's absolutely insane because she's a champion and she has a lot of stats. And she's very strong even on 4. So if we can play her on 3, that's going to put us super far ahead. The caveat to that is Herald is often a must remove unit, so the opponent will see that and try to like Mystic Shot her, or use heavy metal, or single combat, or a whole bunch of stuff to try to kill her. However, if you do get away with developing Herald, then you can kind of run away with the game by playing all your dragons 1 turn early and just, you know, running away with the board. Next we have double single combat, really good. An ally and an enemy strike each other. Our dragons are going to be gaining extra value because when they kill things they gain stats, so we want to be doing striking as much as possible. Next we have triple Dragon's Clutch. Burst speed spell, draw 2 dragons, so there's random ones from deck, just draw 2 different ones. That's really good because we can see like our top end stuff in case we have really strong early and mid game. Dragon's Clutch can find us our Aurelion Sol, that way we can close out the game. That's super nice. Or you can give all of your dragons +1/+1 and Overwhelm. So if you have like 4 or 5 dragons on the board and the opponent has a bunch of blockers, well, now we can punch through them with Overwhelm damage and find piercing lethals that way. Ruin Dragon Guard, 3-mana 3/4. When an ally with Fury kills a unit, grant it an additional 1/1. So Fury is a tag that dragons already have. They gain 1/1 whenever they kill something. Ruin Dragon Guard basically just makes it to where they gain 2/2 instead. That's really good. That way we can kind of just keep growing our stats and making our dragons too hard to deal with. Next we have Strafing Strike. 3-mana fast speed spell, an ally and an enemy strike each other. If the ally is a dragon, heal it after. So that's important to consider. It's basically single combat, but 1 more mana to get the heal too. And that's really worth as long as the dragon survives. The dragon does not heal during the strike, the dragon heals after the strike. So you have to make sure the dragon is killing something and then it will heal. So yeah, the opponent can interact with this in certain ways by doing buffs. So you just have to be a little bit mindful when using Strafing Strike, but it's a very strong card if you resolve it and nothing bad happens. Next we have our first champion, Shyvana. 4-mana 3/4. On attack, give 1/1 this round, so she becomes a 4/5. That's really good on attack 4 or attack 3 if you have the Herald going. She levels up if dragon allies have dealt 16 damage over the course of the game, so she can level up in deck and come out leveled later. That's super nice. She's a 4/5, but on attack, give me 2/2 this round instead of 1/1, so she gets even bigger, and create a fleeting 2-cost strafing in hand. This is really good because it's a free resource that's given to you. It still costs 2, but it is a generated resource, so that's really high value if you can use Shyvana or any of your other dragons to control the board via Strafing Strike. Her champion spell is Grant an Ally Challenger. It's okay, comes up sometimes. Next we have another dragon, 4 mana 4/4, Fury. It's a pretty vanilla card, it's just a dragon. Can play it on turn 3 in case you don't have Shyvana, but you also develop Herald, so that feels good. Screeching Dragon, 5 mana 4/5, has Challenger. So this is a big dragon. 4 attack basically makes it to where it can kill most things, if not all things, by the time turn 5 rolls around. So Screeching will have some good targets. Just use it to control the board, make it hard for the opponent to develop things because Screeching is just going to grab and kill them while also growing. Next we have one Involius Vox, mainly because the deck came with it, so I figured might as well leave it alone. It's a nice epic. Can run it, drop it on turn 6. 6 mana 5/6. Each round when an ally with Fury kills an enemy for the first time, create a random dragon follower in hand. So you can kind of just keep generating dragons and keep playing for the board and keep getting value. And Involius Vox is actually really cool. So pretty nice card. Really cool that it's like free, just included in the deck because it is an epic, and epics are pretty hard to come by. So very happy about that. Now we have Kadrigan the Ruin, 6 mana 6/6 Fury, play Grant an Ally Challenger and 1/1. Really nice to give like Shyvana Challenger or Involius Vox Challenger. Also the +1/+1 boost is really cool. And we just keep curving. So we play like a 4-drop dragon, then a 5-drop dragon, then Kadrigan on 6. That's really nice. Love that. Really good value overall. Moving on to Eclipse, 7 mana 7/7. Daybreak, so if you play this first in the round, the next dragon or celestial unit you play costs 2 less. This is really important because we want to make Aurelion Soul cost 2 less, making it an 8-drop, so you can play Eclipse into A Soul turn 7, turn 8, and that's really broken. It also has a Nightfall effect, so if it's not the first card played during the round, create a random dragon and celestial follower in hand, generating more resources so that you can keep value going, right? Don't run out of cards in hand. And rounding us out, we have Aurelion Soul, our second champion. 10 mana 10/10, that's a big boy. Has Spell Shield, so that's really good for protection. Play Invoke, so you're shown 3, and then you pick 1 of something. So he invokes a Celestial card that costs 7 or more. Those are really big units, really big spells, really powerful. Round start, create a random Celestial in hand, and level up, round end, your allies have 20 total power, including himself. Then when he levels, all your Celestial cards cost 0, and that's really broken. You start playing these really big things for free, and it's just too much value for the opponent to deal with, and you hard win the game. His champion spell is a big AoE deal 15, which is just drastic overkill, but it can come up sometimes if you have extra Aurelions and the opponent's just playing like a bunch of cheap things. So yeah, he's really, really fun to play around. He has super sick art, super sick effect. Normally when he levels, the opponent instantly surrenders because he is just that hard to beat once he actually levels. And we can level him as early as turn 8, as long as we play Eclipse on 7, Ace on 8, and we have 20 power on board. So yeah, really strong mid to late game deck. And that's it for this rundown. Now here's a live commentary game so you can see how it plays out. Well, what a shocker. For the example game, we have Darkness, the deck that we just played. So we're going to play Herald on 2, and then we have White Flame Protector on 3. Love that. We probably don't need Dragon's Clutch early. We could probably pitch the Eclipse Dragon as well, but if we see Aesol, we're definitely going to want that. Since they're playing a slow control deck, we also want to play a little slow and make sure that we have our Eclipse into Aesol because we're going to need it. Pass, that sounds good. So I'm going to play Herald on 2. It's very likely going to get Quietist or Soul Harvested.
Come hither, you beasts of glory.
On the off chance it isn't, we're going to play Protector on 3. Alright. They could do first action Darkness on her as well, so don't get too excited yet. Is it first action Darkness? It is. Resolve that, can't really do much about it. Then we will play Herald again.
Shape the skies and mold the earth.
We will take 3 damage to face, because we don't want to sack our Herald for no reason. And then we can play our White Flame Protector after. Ah, boom.
Even to their young bloods, we are nothing.
Then we can play Cadrigan on 5, Eclipse 6, and Aesol 7, as long as this Herald lives that whole time. Which again, not likely, but that can come up, and it's really good. If you can get Aesol on 7, I mean, that's just kind of insane.
Astounding curiosities.
Yeah, we can try to go for the board here. The Acolyte will go up to 4 attack if they play their generated card from Conch, but I think it's kind of worth to threaten anyways. Bonk. If not, then they just take it. Sapling Toss, alright. They definitely should have played that during combat and tried to block, but they did not. Shyvana. Oh man, this is kind of iffy. I'm down to sack it and try to keep our Dragon's Clutch. It's fine, yeah. We can just trade even. If I Dragon's Clutch and it goes up to 5-5, then they could probably just kill it with Pie Toss and stuff. Let's just try to get the board going again. Shyvana.
The dragon's rage claws to get out.
Then we will Cadrigan. Or she's just gonna get Vengeance outright. She's just gone. Goodbye, Shyvana. It was nice knowing you. But that's one less Vengeance they have for Aesol, so. We're kind of playing their game where we just have to get to late game. There's not really a choice in the matter. Swing. We have our late game though, so at least there's that. Condense. That is cute, yeah. Condense is actually really good. Instead of Soul Cleave Robe Maker, we could Condense Robe Maker. Ah, I like that combo, guys. Definitely think about that too. Condense is kind of interesting. Replay Conch.
Let us take a peek at
We play Eclipse. And then we play Aurelian Soul. Senna, okay.
Long road ahead.
That's not too scary. Nice. Aesol time. Unit or obliterate 2 things of choice. I like obliterate 2 things of choice. I already have strong units in hand. What I need is some removal. We're also threatening Aesol level, right? Yeah, that's good. Was that going to take off Spell Shield and then you Vengeance him? Oh no, you're shooting Cadrigan. That's interesting.
Getting dark.
We can also swing with the Eclipse and Aesol. We don't really mind damaging him because he's so tanky anyways and he has Spell Shield. He's very often just going to die to spells, if he is going to die. So we can swing with him, try to get some Fury procs, and just contest the board a little bit more. Because it's damage the opponent has to respect. If we Dragon's Clutch... Oh wow, wait, we might win. I'm not doing the math, but that's like a lot of damage. Pushes Eclipse up to 8. Does 4 piercing. Yeah, Aesol does 11. So it puts him down to 1 HP. Oh man. Okay, worth.
One can never have too many dragons.
Puts them down to 1. That is really spooky. The Overwhelm is permanent. Maybe I should have swung with the Cadrigan as well. Assuming I was going to use eggs this turn. I thought they'd at least like chump block or something. Ah, yeah, I guess we could have attacked with Cadrigan. Either way though, we're getting the Aesol level. So I don't think it matters too much.
Concentrated for
Yeah, that's it. I was just doing it for the content, right? I want to get the Aesol level, show you guys the animation. Yeah. I was just doing it for the content for you guys. Because we're going to have a 0 mana Supernova. And that's not balanced. Yeah, we just level. Very strong there. And the final deck I have for you is a variation of Pirate Burn, meaning Misfortune Noxus. So if the Darkness deck is control, the Dragon deck is mid-range, so a little bit in the mid-game, then this deck is the aggro deck of choice. That way I have one deck of each archetype being covered in this video: aggro, mid-range, and control, depending on the speed of which you like to play. This is the fast and aggressive deck. We want to swarm the board and push as much damage as quickly as possible, killing the opponent before they even have time to set up. Now the way we're going to do this is direct damage and lots of 1 and 2 drops. So we have Crackshot Corsair, 1 mana 1/1. When allies attack, deal 1 additional damage to the enemy nexus for free. Really good, especially if you stack multiple Crackshot Corsairs, then you're shooting a bunch of damage at the opponent's face, and that's really nice. Jagged Butcher, 1 mana 2/2. Plunder, so if you've damaged the enemy nexus prior to playing him, he will gain 1/1, so he can be a 3/3 sometimes, and that's really strong. Legion Saboteur, 1 mana 2/1 on attack call, deal 1 to the enemy nexus for free, just like Corsair's effect, really good. Legion Saboteur has to attack to get this off. Crackshot Corsair just needs to see any ally attack to get hers off, so it's a bit of a distinction, but basically the same thing. Precious Pet, 1 mana 2/1, fearsome, hard to block, really strong aggressive unit. Arena Battlecaster, attack, give other allies 1/0 this round. So Battlecaster wants to swarm the board, you want to have like 5 or 6 units there, and then he gets a really big AoE damage push, and that's really nice if the opponent is trying to develop and falls a bit far behind. You can just kind of kill them outright with Battlecaster damage. Make It Rain, deal 1 to 3 different randomly targeted enemies or the enemy nexus, really good for a little bit of chip and damage, killing enemy 1 HP units as well, and it's also really good in the aggro mirror matchups, so in case you're fighting aggro as well, you can kill their units while keeping yours alive via Make It Rain. Mirai Warden, 2 mana 2/1, when I'm summoned, also summon a random 1 cost, so this is really good since it provides an additional body so we can swarm. There's a lot of strong 1-drops, including the ones that we already run, but there's also good ones as well that we don't fit. So Mirai Warden can hit like out of region ones as well, and you get some really crazy combos, really strong cards. And then of course, if we have Battlecasters and Mirai Warden set up, then we just hit the opponent's face with a lot of damage. Pirouette. Plunder, I cost 1 less, so same effect as Butcher. If we deal damage before activating it, we get a bonus. This one's a cost reduction, love that. Deal 1 to anything and stun an enemy. So we can target the face for deal 1, or we can target a unit that has 1 HP and then stun another enemy. That's really nice. Sometimes this is just like a 2-for-1 deal and then we can swing. Really good for setting up. Iron Ballista, 3 mana 4/3, aggressively statted overwhelm unit, pushes damage. Misfortune, 3 mana 3/3. When allies attack, deal 1 to all battling enemies in the enemy nexus. So it's like Crackshot Corsair but on crack. Really strong. I've seen you attack 4 times, never going to happen. We're not playing scouts, we're not attacking 4 times with Misfortune, so we never really see her level up in Pirates, but it might come up sometimes in some niche situations. If you run a scout card in here like Island Navigator, it's a bit more likely to do it, but still pretty rare. The main thing is that we're just using her passive to deal extra damage to the opponent's units and also face. Love that. Extra copies of her become Make It Rain, very good. Noxian Fervor, 3 mana, fast speed, deal 3 to an ally, deal 3 to anything. This is a finisher card. We use this to burn the opponent's face for the last little bit of damage that they have. Also, you can use this as a reaction. If the opponent is removing one of your units, you can just turn it into damage instead, send it to the opponent's face, or kill one of their units, and that's really nice. I have Nagakaboros, a 5 mana, spawn 2, draw 2. Spawn just summons a tentacle with the amount of number that the spawn says to, so spawn a 2/2. While also drawing 2 cards. Really good at refilling the hand because we're going to be dropping our hand quite often to get out damage. Nagakaboros refills it up for us, maybe finds our Noxian Fervors for finishers, and that's really nice. Rounding it out, we have a triple Darius, big overwhelm unit. I see the enemy nexus has half of its starting health or less, so if it's at 10 HP, then Darius becomes a 10 attack unit, killing it by himself, or just pushing a lot of overwhelm damage. Extra copies of him become Decimate. Rest in peace, Decimate. That's an eternal card. Love that. Good burn finish if we do get multiple Dariuses. Speaking of Decimate, we have 1 Captain Pharaon. For the same reason as the other epics in the other decks, he was just kind of included, so I wanted to keep him for flavor. 8 mana, 8/8, overwhelm. When I'm summoned, create 2 Decimates in hand. You can replace him for something else. Same with the other epics, but I just want to keep him in case people are like, oh, I want to play my epic. Well, Captain Pharaon is here to do that. He's a big finisher as well in case you get into the mid game. And that's it for this deck rundown. Now here's a live commentary game so you can see how it plays out. Alright, for this one we're going to be fighting Teemo Samira. If they are aggro, hopefully we can out aggro, right? We just want to be faster. So let's go ahead and mulligan away all these. We want to see our 1 and 2 drops as soon as possible. That is nice. Make It Rain's also really good in this matchup so we can kill Teemo and other 1 HP units. Yeah, like that one. If they have a bunch of elusives, that's going to be our only out. Let's set up Mirai Warden. Nice. And then push for 4. There's no way they block. Bonk, bonk. Yep. And if they open attack, we'll do Make It Rain, Butcher. Oh, we have double Butcher, guys. We just win the game. We're so good here. Make It Rain, double Butcher. The opponent's going to surrender immediately. Ah, boom.
There's plenty of killing left.
Demi. Ah, boom.
Ye started without me.
Yeah, we are just a lot faster. Really strong setup. That's where Make It Rain really comes in handy. Like I mentioned, against other aggressive strategies, we can just like win outright. Rocking Plunder is such a good synergy. They still got something. Whoa, it's a blowback. Discard 2, deal 3 to face and also to me. They discarded Insider Knowledge and Chump Lump. So they're playing like a variation of Bandle Burn. Not Bandle Burn, P and Z Burn, which was a thing a long time ago. Blowback Mushroom Clouds. That's really interesting, actually. Alright, we got them down to 9, so Darius is just going to clean them up.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
I'm the Gakaboros. Look for another 1-drop to play. No 1-drop. Hey, I got 2 pairs in hand. I got a little bit of a poker hand here. Alright, we just played level Darius. Let's go. That is a lot of overwhelm damage they have to deal with right now. So we basically close out turn 6. If they magically get through it, we have Fervor for defense 7 to try to just finish it up. Yep, got him. Turn 6 lethal now. That is fast right there. And that about wraps it up. Again, make sure to go to the store menu and collect your decks for free. I'll be covering all of them very soon, so subscribe if you want to see more beginner-friendly strategies. And that's it for this one. Please like and subscribe if you thought this video was informative or entertaining. It really helps me out. I'll be releasing more deck profiles, guides, gameplay highlights, and meta reports in the near future. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters!